2021 was a different year because I contributed a lot in terms of relevant debates. For example, debate that gears towards health, education, and also debates that gears towards women and women empowerment. So I believe 2021 was a year that I had a lot of opportunity to contribute to debates in the House of Parliament, and that has given me a lot of ideas as to what has been going on in the country and what as Parliament we are supposed to do to ensure that these things are addressed. I was working as a civil society activist, and later I worked as a development practitioner, working for an international NGO. Before working for an international NGO, I've been working as an activist for women's empowerment, youth, children, and also I've been working with women in politics, where that's all under women empowerment, because we are advocating for space for women, and that space is what we had wanted, because if the space is available, then we'll be able to identify the women who can fill those spaces. But if the spaces are not available, then no. So that was what I was doing before becoming a development practitioner, working for an NGO, where also I was working with women in politics, women in with the councils, and to enhance the women's self-confidence and empowerment in terms of going for the space, political positions. So those were things I was doing. I was also working with women in mining communities, advocating for them, for their livelihood, to see how mining proceeds can help or support women in these mining communities that are suffering. Also advocating to end violence against women in mining communities in terms of gender-based violence, domestic violence. You see them physically in mining communities. When the men normally don't get money, they don't get diamonds, they feel frustrated, and if the women ask them for food at home or for the children, they become irritated and they retaliate on those women. So these are things in the women and mining that we have been advocating for, going to mining communities to see how women can also be capacitated to be able to do something, not to just depend on what the man will have at the end of the day to come with it, so that they will not be disadvantaged.
A member of Parliament, both in and outside Parliament?
Well, one success is that I'm the first female honorable from Kono district ever in the history of politics in Kono. I'm the first woman elected to come to Parliament to represent women of Kono or people of Kono, though specific to my constituency, but I'm the first female. That's one success. Two, in my constituency, other honorables were there, but there is no pointers. Although we as honorable members, we are not like development, to say we do development implementation, because government doesn't give us money to do any implementation in our constituency. But since I became an honorable member of Parliament, I've done a lot of development. If I take it from the list, one of the least villages at Old Mema, I supported the people by, they constructed the building of a how do they call it? It's not a health center, but where they can hold on to pregnant women when they go into labor before sending them to any nearest PHU. So they call it TBA center. That's the way they call it, traditional birth attendance center. So they asked me to finish it for them, and I did it. And I also gave them solar light so that they can use it, especially in front of the chief's house, because normally people do come to the chief and sit down moving from there, I went to another town called Kenya. They were always yearning to have a court barrack, where people come for meetings because it's a very big town now. So I met the court barrack at foundation stage. I was able, together with the chief and the community, I was able to finish the barrack, and today they are using that barrack as a local court number 1 in Tankoro Chido, where my constituency resides. Moving from there, I supported like 8 groups of women, give them startup grants. 8 groups of women, giving them startup grant because they were already in business. They were already doing 1 or 2 things to support themselves. So that money I gave them, 2 million each group, was like, we're not a startup, but a support to continue whatever they were doing. The evidence of that is there. You go to Kono, you do your interview, you get it. Right? From there, I supported, we were having the cleaning exercise. Government don't give us as honorable members money for cleaning exercise. They give to the councils. But because what they give to the council will not cover the entire city, because my constituency is in the city, so I in my capacity, I also supported communities, groups of youth with tools, wheelbarrows, shovels, cutlasses, rake, or whatever they can use to clean their community. So I gave them that, and in fact, and furthermore, I went to another town called Small Sefadu. I went there together with the mayor. The people really cried out that their barrack has been dilapidated. They want their barrack to be rehabilitated. So we discussed with the mayor thereafter, and from my constituency development committee and the mayor, we are able to support that community to rehabilitate the barrack. But there is a major project I undertook in a community called Kwakoima. They have a PHU, but the PHU there is almost falling apart. If you go there, you see it as a death trap. So I called a community meeting. We discussed that we need a new PHU. But you can't just go to government that we need a new PHU. No, they have to opt to do it. And at first, you see NGOs, and that PHU that is falling apart was done by an NGO, World Vision. So now the NGOs are folding up. Their projects are not geared towards some of these things, tangible infrastructural development. Some are just software development. So for me and the community, we came together and we secured land, and now we have built the health center, though not completed, but much bigger than the one they have, and even made an extension of where they can admit people so that they can observe them until they take them to the referral hospital, which is the Kwedu Government Hospital. For now, we have already putting roof on the health center, and we are now trying to see how we can make the doors and windows. It's a self-supported, although during that one, the mining company that is there, that is Octia, they supported me with bricks. They supported me with cement bricks, and they also supported me. They also supported me with cement. They supported me with zinc, and yeah, those are the things they supported me with. And also other philanthropy. You can't just go to government that we need a new PHU. No, they have to opt to do it. And at first, you see NGOs, and that PHU that is falling apart was done by an NGO, World Vision. So now the NGOs are folding up. Their projects are not geared towards some of these things, tangible infrastructural development. Some are just software development. So for me and the community, we came together and we secured land, and now we have built the health center, though not completed, but much bigger than the one they have, and even made an extension of where they can admit people so that they can observe them until they take them to the referral hospital, which is the Kwedu Government Hospital. For now, we have already putting roof on the health center, and we are now trying to see how we can make the doors and windows. It's a self-supported, although during that one, the mining company that from last year to this year, I have supported up to 60 young people to enter the GTI, the Government Trade Institute in Kono, so that they can learn skills. Most of these youths were like sitting down at the attire base. I told them, I will not buy attire for you, I will not buy flags for the attire, neither buy a plasma for you to watch games. I will help you to go and learn something, so that the attire base will not be your office, because you get nothing from there. You can be used for violence. And I also supported children who passed the PECE exam in my constituency, 200 children, with bags and books as an educational support for them to be able to learn, because the free quality education, I know it's provided, but not all of the children will have those books completely, exercise books, and even bags, backpack. I use our local fabrics to do the backpack for the children, so that at the end of the day it can be washable, and you can also repair it without just throwing it away. So there are other things I've done, but consultation is with the leadership of Parliament. And for me, my leadership in Parliament, which is Honorable Sir Emasi Lamina, normally whenever he has any information from the leadership meeting, he will come and call us to a meeting and say, Rebecca, this is it, or send a text to me. So that's the way. But to say generally I can assess, no, I can't assess. Maybe they will have the meeting sometimes, maybe they will not tell us, or they will tell us. So I won't say leadership in terms of communication, in terms of information sharing, they are lacking or what. What I hear is what I know. I will not say so, because we are not implementers of projects. They don't give us government's money to implement projects. I believe the money they give to Parliament is the money to run the administration of Parliament. So how can I say Parliament is corrupt when we are not implementers of projects? We don't do roads, we don't do bridges, we don't do any form of developmental projects, we don't implement. So how can I say Parliament is corrupt? I think Parliament is one, because if good laws are made, then it will start helping to solve challenges faced by the nation. But also, the cabinet, the judiciary, and the other arms of government, they also have their role to play to ensure that these laws are implemented. If laws are not implemented, we can make laws there, but if they are not implemented, if they don't touch the lives of people positively, then the problem will be still there. So it's about the body and the parts of the body. If this arm is sick, or the rest of the body feels sick. So that's the way government is. So one arm cannot just walk and you think the problem is solved. So it's a collective effort from all the different arms of government to ensure that things work for this country. This is that you have to love your people. I know things are not easy. In Parliament, I'm telling you, I'm here. This first time is a learning for me. I've learned a lot. If I had not come to Parliament, no matter I will be a doctor or I will be a professor, I will not know the dynamics of Parliament. But now, you can be your professor. If you are not a member of Parliament, you will not know the dynamics of Parliament. So for me, Parliament is one thing that we as honorable members, we don't just come, oh, I'm a parliamentarian, you hang around. You have to learn a lot of things. You use it to help your people, you use it to inform your people, you use it to even capacitate yourself. Because life does not stop just at parliament. You use it to build relationships, to make friends, not enemies. You don't use your position as a parliamentarian to intimidate other people. You use it to ensure that you build relationship and talk to people. If even you don't have anything, you have to talk to people for them to understand what you are doing and what you stand for. My expectation this year 2022 is that we have entered a political phase of parliament, because now people are now fighting, they want to come back. Like me, I want to come back, so I really want to ensure that maybe projects that are not finished, I finish the project that are not finished, visit communities that have not been visiting, although the visiting also have its own challenge, but also ensure that I sit with my family, my people, to do diagnosis of my entire 5 years to see where I went wrong and where I went well. So the next incoming, then I'll be able to know what to do much more better than now. About the gender empowerment bill, we are trusting God that the gender empowerment bill will pass this year by the grace of God. And I believe all of you out there will support the gender empowerment bill, because it will give us opportunity for the space we were asking for to occupy those spaces. Because if, according to the review bill, if we have 2 per district, 2 women per district to come to parliament, including in addition to the women that will win in the political parties, then our number will move from 16 to a very higher number, like 50 or 60 women in parliament, and that's a very good number, because if it's 16 districts, that's 32, and we have political parties. If you have 2 women in different political parties, you have more than. So if we have up to 40 members, female members of parliament, it will go a very long way. So now we are all fighting to ensure that this 2022 we work very hard to secure, to ensure our positions are secure for our next coming, and this bill is one of the things that will really help us. I'm really looking forward to the passing of this bill, and I'm also looking forward to get money. I want money. I'm in opposition, I don't have money. I want money to complete my projects in my community. Not my project, my house, not building my house, but completing the health center at Kwapoima, and also completing other unfinished projects, supporting the ones that I've sent to the GTI so that they can learn something. It's all about building the human capital and also supporting the health sector for our people. So that is exactly what I'm looking forward to this 2022, so that, well, I will not say I've achieved everything, but I will be a little bit satisfied with my work.